With a team of almost 30 people now at Impact School, I'm often asked, hey Lauren, how do you actually build a team? How do you get employees? How do you hire people? How do you manage them? How do you train them? And so I thought I would make this video to share my 3 most important components of actually building this team. Cheers. So by the end of this video, you are going to know how best to hire a team, what to delegate, and then how to make sure that everybody is being productive. So with that said, my first and most important tip is that it's really important to create roles and then have people fill those roles rather than hiring a person just because you need to get rid of some work and just giving them a bunch of different things to do. Now at the beginning, when you're small, they will need to be nimble, this person that you're hiring, but you need to make it very clear as to what the different responsibilities are. So let me give you an example. I first hired someone a few years ago and he was basically doing all the stuff that I wasn't doing. We would bounce back and forth, you do this, I'll do that, you do this, I'll do that. And that's kind of how it was. They were just like essentially a double of me. And that caused massive problems as we began to scale the company because they thought that they deserved equity in the business because they'd been with me for so long. Simultaneously, as we started to hire more and more people, they felt like their role was being encroached upon and they kind of started to get a bit defensive. So what you need to do is you need to basically build out the different infrastructure of how your business is ultimately going to be. So let's just say there's going to be 10 positions in the next 2 years or such. And then if one person is going to fill 5 of those positions, that's fine. But you need to make it very, very clear that that's what's going on right now while you're still small. So an example could be, if you're going to hire someone and you have an online coaching business, then if you hire another co-coach, they could be called the client success director. And so they're responsible for all things to do with client success. And then that means that anything to do with sales, marketing, all of that, that's not their responsibility. And that brings me on to my next tip, which is delegate responsibilities rather than specific roles and tasks. If you delegate a responsibility like the success of clients and making sure that, let's just say you're a fat loss coach, making sure that each client are losing at least 1 pound of fat per week as an example, okay, then that's their responsibility and they're going to do anything it takes to take ownership of that. Whereas if you're telling them, okay, you need to do the check-ins with the clients, you need to do the coaching calls, that doesn't give them any room to innovate and to make sure that it's being done in the most effective way. So when you hire people, you have to let go of responsibility, and that means that you're delegating an outcome. So they are responsible for getting to a specific outcome and you're trusting in them that they can get there. Now, in order to do this, it's very important to have accountability in place. So in order to get the clients to that outcome, how are you going to be holding them accountable? It's critical that you set KPIs for them, you make it clear who they're accountable to. So if you're a small company, then they'll probably be accountable to the CEO. And I've heard multiple leadership experts say, just make sure that there's never more than 6 or 7 people accountable to one person. So for me, I have my leadership team who are accountable to me and our COO. And I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty detailed things because in our 100th podcast episode, we actually go into more depth on that. So if you want to check that out, then there's a link below to Impact School's podcast whereby you can check it out. It's also going to be the pinned comment. But with that said, it's like, okay, you need to basically create the infrastructure of the business and the roles that you need, fill people into those roles, and then from there, don't just delegate to them the role, make it very clear as to what the responsibility is and how they're going to be held accountable to that. Once you have good team members on board, it's important to know how to operate and work with them as well. And so that's why my next tip is kind of more to do with that. So we have a daily huddle every single day. And this is where we share our wins and our struggles. And so I thought it would be a good idea to just show you what 3 of our team members say while on these meetings. But if you'd like an entire video where I talk you through how we actually work together and how I make sure that my team is staying productive, then just write a comment down below saying productivity, hit that thumbs up and subscribe while you're at it, because then I'll know that that's something that you want me to show you too. So anyway, let's first of all bring in our head of social media, Rachel.
My name's Rachel. I'm like social media manager, head of organic. So I look after after the lead generation and also making sure that everything goes out on time on social media. Christina, if you want to speak about what it is you do.
I am the head of sales. I manage the closer team. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Fun.
I'm the CMO, so I take care of the ad strategy, email strategy, social media strategy, and just kind of make sure that we're heading in the right direction.
Right now we're on our longer team meeting whereby we're going to be going through numbers to make sure that everyone's hitting their KPIs and to make sure that clients are operating in the way that we need to be. So
bit of stress going on, but everything is pretty much good.
So that's our daily huddle. Now, make sure to go check out the 100th podcast episode because we're also giving away an internal course, which is the course that all of our team members go through when they become a client. So we make it very clear what people's roles and responsibilities are and the outcomes and what they're held accountable to. And you can actually get access to that for free, but you're going to have to listen to the podcast episode to find out how you can get that. So first link in the description, and also it's the pinned comment as well. I really hope that this was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.